guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing swatches with you from a brand that has become one of my favorite brands over the past few months, and this is Iscream Nails. This is an Australian-based company, so on their website, you can order directly from their website if you live in USA and Canada as well. On their website, their prices are a little bit scary, but every time I say this in the comments, and I always forget to say it in my videos, those are Australian dollars that everything is listed in, and it does convert at checkout to a much more reasonable seeming price. I also have a 15% off discount code. It's not an affiliate code, it's just 15% off for you if you'd like to use it. It is here on the screen. It'll also be in the description box below. So I do have 6 assorted polishes to share with you today, 2 of which are brand new, and then the other 4 are creams, 3 of which I picked up myself. In the description box below, I will link the Iscream site as well as their Instagram page, and I will also link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of all 6 of these polishes. I will also link where you can go to see their stockists. They do have also UK stockists. I will leave all of that in the description box below in case you were looking for these and they don't ship to you. I think that is everything, so let's go ahead and get started. So first up we have Soft Serve, and this is their white cream polish. So here is our first coat of Soft Serve. This goes on really nicely, really evenly. It is just a tiny bit streaky on this first coat here, so I am going to go in for a second coat, but I do think after a few uses of this, it will be completely opaque in just one coat. And you don't have to work in thicker coats or anything like that either to get the opacity that I am showing you. This has a really great formula too. There's no running or pulling or anything like that. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but it's that thickness where it stays exactly where you put it. So here's the second coat, and again, this does cover completely in 2 coats. If you wanted to use this as a base for like a neon or for some nail art, 1 coat would be just fine. This also dries down decently glossy, though for longevity I would recommend a glossy top coat. And does anybody else like just a white manicure with a matte top coat, or is that just me? So there's 2 coats. Next up we have Licorice Twist, and this is their black cream. So here's our first coat of Licorice Twist. And this one is completely opaque in just 1 coat. For the purpose of this video, I am going to go ahead and show you what 2 coats looks like, but 1 coat did cover the nail line completely. This is a little bit on the thinner side, though I didn't have any kind of running or pulling or anything like that. It's just noticeably thinner than the white polish. So here's our second coat, and again, completely opaque. It didn't make any opacity changes or anything like that. I can't see my nail line. I did flood my cuticles though, so that was fun. Again, this one does dry very glossy on its own, though if you want it to last a little bit longer, you'll want a top coat, so there's 2 coats. Next up we have Opel Obsession, and this is a clear base with a ton of UCC flakies and iridescent flakies and maybe a light scattering of hollow. And here's 1 coat of Opal Obsession over Licorice Twist. You do get a ton of flakies out without having to do any kind of swirling or manipulating or anything like that. I did have to add a little bit of thinner to my bottle of this. It was pretty thick, which is very typical of these kind of flaky toppers. So just to make it to where I like it, I did put a little bit of thinner in. So it did make it pretty easy to use. It does dry slightly textured, but it's not going to be difficult to remove. You will want a nice glossy and or matte top coat to smooth everything out. So there's 1 coat. Next up we have Grasshopper Pie, and this is leaning towards a Tiffany shade. It does have a little bit more green in it than a Tiffany would, and it is a cream. Here's our first coat of Grasshopper Pie. This is pretty sheer here on this first coat. I am going to go ahead and build it up today with 3 coats. Depending on your application and your preference, you may be okay with doing just 2 coats. It is just slightly patchy here on this first coat though, so it will need to be built up either way. So here's 2 coats, and again, this covers pretty well here on 2 coats. I just had a couple of bald spots, so I am going to go ahead and show you what 3 coats looks like. But this does have a nice formula, no running or pulling or staining or anything like that. And it is coming off a little bit more blue here on camera than it is in person. It is got maybe a touch more green in person. So here's 3 coats, and again, this covers completely in 3 coats. Depending on your application, you may end up getting away with 2 with no issue. This dries very glossy, but once again, for longevity purposes, you will probably want a glossy top coat. So there's 3 coats. Up next, we have the Teal Appeal, and this is a nice teal cream polish. Here is our first coat of the Teal Appeal, and this covers really well here on this first coat. It is just a tiny bit patchy here though, so I am going to go ahead and show you what 2 coats looks like. Again, this has a fantastic formula. I've kind of come to expect that from Iscream Nails in general, but I didn't have any running or pulling, staining, anything crazy like that. So here is our second coat, and this did cover completely in 2 coats for me. Once again, it dries very glossy. A nice glossy top coat will help it stay on a lot longer though. This also self-levels really nicely. I did have a couple bald patches, but nothing that would be noticeable to anybody that wasn't you. So there is 2 coats. And lastly for today, we have Jungle Juice, and this is an olive green cream polish. And here is our first coat of Jungle Juice. This goes on really nicely, really evenly. I didn't have any bald patches per se, but it was just a little bit sheer here on this first coat. I would consider this more of a crelly formula. It kind of applied like a jelly, but it has the opacity of a cream, so I would call this one a crelly. So here's 2 coats, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This also dries very fast and very glossy per the usual of ice cream creams. And I didn't have any staining with this one either. It was really nice and really easy to use. So there is 2 coats. Picking favorites is like the hardest part of my job, but they're black and white. Fantastic. They perform beautifully. These 2 tealy and turquoisey and light blue colors, beautiful, and they perform beautifully for what they are. But my 2 favorites of this collection, or of these polishes, is Jungle Juice, because this is 100% my shade. Every day, all year, olives, army greens. I love this. But my standout is Opel Obsession. This, and I'm not exaggerating, this looks good over everything. I mean, I'd never wear it on its own, but it looks beautiful over everything. I wore this just the other day over Vovalicious, which you know is one of my favorite ice cream polishes of all time. I wore this over Vovalicious and I didn't want to take it off. Like, I just wanted to reapply more. So I really like this one. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these 6 polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.